thingy to do.
Oh. Oh, you mean
You can figure out if you're on a planar or non-planar surface. I thought he was going to have a little cool geometrical shape thingy to do.
oh. Oh, you mean to tell the difference between flat and globe?
I thought that curved and planar and non-planar, but yes.
Oh. I was just proposing a way for uh, that would work to map out a flat Earth without relying on existing globe assumptions. But yes, there are some cool things you could do, like look at the distance of the equator, look at the distance between, in other words, the circumference of the equator, and then divide that by the distance from the equator to the North Pole, and you will find
That's the
that it
pi
does.
thing I said, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like that one.
You don't
That
have a
one.
new cool one though. We already know about all these. Did you have a new one?
Let's see.
Like bring something dope, bro. You got to come with it here. This is the big show right here. We're in the
Well,
trenches. You got to
well,
bring
this
the big guns out.
well, the surface trilateration is that. It would also show that Earth was a globe if Earth was a globe, but it would show Earth was flat if Earth was flat. This would like be a cinch. Don't you agree, Matthew? This would be an extremely powerful argument either way.
Right.
All right. Well, Coriolis week isn't over. So, I also want to say to add to the list of things that can bend light, like you have if you have light going through a medium, and then magnetism will bend the medium, and magnetism, and then the light will bend, so that could cause the light to bend. You've got refraction, obviously. You've got general relativity can bend light, and then you also have Coriolis could bend light. Coriolis could bend light. That's a thing.
Also, magnetism can bend water too.
But I mean, Coriolis week isn't over, so we're almost there, guys. I don't know. I had a pop quiz for Wesley. Pinky failed yesterday miserably. You don't know about Coriolis, right, Jesse?
What about it
You don't.
in
You,
particular?
you know how it works?
Very carefully. I mean, do you know how light works? Light must not exist. But what's your specific question? It's essentially the conservation of angular momentum or um, linear momentum.
No, it's not. No, that answers that question.
Light must not exist. But what's your specific question? It's essentially the conservation of angular momentum or um, linear momentum.
No, it's not. No, that answers that question.
Well, I mean, isn't it the result of the observer rotating or accelerating compared to the inertial frame in which an object is following a trajectory?
That was close. I don't know if that's exactly it. I wouldn't have phrased it like that.
How would you phrase it?
I would say it's the apparent deflection of an object that's moving straight when viewed by someone in a non-inertial reference frame.
Oh, okay. That's basically what I said.
Yeah, that's why I said it was like close. I just wouldn't have phrased it like that.
And it does also have to do with the conservation of momentum because that the object following the trajectory is conserving its momentum, regardless of the
Yeah,
fact that the observer is moving.
shit conserves things. Conserve momentum. Yeah, don't have nothing like to do with the Coriolis though. You could not have Coriolis and things are conserving their momentum. So what's the? Don't really have nothing to do with it.
Yeah,
Conservation
but
of
you
momentum is nothing.
couldn't not have conservation of momentum and still have Coriolis.
We couldn't do Coriolis without if we didn't have time or if we didn't have matter. or if we didn't have humans that had arms to throw a ball, or just like, dude, we couldn't have Coriolis without atoms or electrons. Like, I know, bro, there's a lot of stuff you need to have Coriolis effect.
What are your but you
Momentum, it's nothing.
yeah, but you couldn't not have conservation of momentum and still have Coriolis.
We couldn't do Coriolis without, if we didn't have time, or if we didn't have matter, or if we didn't have humans that had arms to throw a ball, or just like, dude, we couldn't have Coriolis without atoms or electrons. Like, I know, bro, there's a lot of stuff you need to have Coriolis effect.
What are your thoughts on the mechanical gyroscope? Would you say that that is related to Coriolis?
Yeah. Yes, maybe.
I agree, because the spinning
Maybe.
flywheel. If you think of the spinning flywheel as a bunch of pieces of metal moving, trying to maintain their um, momentum, that's just basically what it is. But it's a
What
bunch of them,
about
and
this?
they keep
What
going.
about what about this example? What if you had a merry-go-round and then a drone just hovering above it, like not in the center, somewhere in the middle or something, and then you're just spinning around? Is that Coriolis? Because that's kind of what it's like. I don't know if that
Uh,
is Coriolis. I don't know if the gyro's Coriolis or not. If not, it's it's close.
so if the drone is being stabilized strictly by a gyro and not the GPS, then yeah, you could say that, I guess. It's a little bit stretched, but I think you could say that. It's an
I don't
amplified
know.
gyro.
I know folk call they claim is definitely they claim it's Coriolis, which I had to fight tooth and nail to get Glowers to agree with me on that. What ridiculous friggin' arguments those were. Absolutely ridiculous. The shit I had
Well,
to dredge through to get everyone on the same page.
and a Foucault's pendulum is just a gyroscope that changes directions anyway.
I mean, I love how you guys know all the variables when it comes to the globe stuff, but then if it comes to boiling water, we don't know all the variables and we can never know. Shit is wild, dude. It's absolutely wild.
Great
You
point.
can't you can't prove we can't prove boiling water. We don't know all the variables. And then you hit me with the unknown variable fallacy that one time we were debating. That's obnoxious. You guys do that all the time with the unknown variables. And that's not even a real fallacy, I don't think. You still don't have a name. Did you ever come up with it? You haven't even thought about that again, did you, Jesse?
I don't even remember what the specific fallacious line of argumentation was. Do you remember what you said that made me say that?
Yeah, just like you guys say in science, I said there could be an unknown variable you don't know. And you were like, that's an unknown variable fallacy. But that's your guys' excuse for why we can't prove things in science, though. So that shit don't make no sense. We were talking about bending light. I'm like, you don't know all the variables that could be bending the light. I just hit you. I broke you off with like four things just now in your own model. That's not even like making up ether shit or nothing, nothing else. Just shit that's in your own model that can bend light. That's not refraction. There's also a thing with constructive and destructive interference where the light looks like it's bending, but it's not actually bending. So you figure that one out. I never even bring that one out because I don't even fucking understand what that means.
Oh, you mean like when you're looking through a density gradient at a straight laser beam, but it appears to be curving because you're looking at it through a density gradient?
No, I don't think so.
Ah.
It has to do with constructive and destructive interference. I don't think there's any gradients involved. This isn't like a refraction thing.
Mm.
They made it. They do it in a lab with a laser beam. They can make it so that the laser looks like it's bending, but it's not actually bending.
Oh,
So
I know that. Uh, yeah, it's not
like
actually
it'll
bending.
look.
It's just that
It looks like it
the
though.
it's just that the brightest convergence is not a straight line on a surface. It's a projection, basically. Just like you could project a curved line of light on a projection screen, and but they're using interferometry to do it instead.
Yeah.
It's
So
clever,
all.
but it's not curving the light actually.
Yeah. So even without that one though, you have multiple variables in the mainstream model, albeit very small variables, but they're there. But they are variables that can make light bend. That's not refraction. So all of a sudden claiming we know all the variables and this is how the light's bending seems a bit much to me, knowing that there are other things that could bend light. And you know what I'm saying? You guys use the excuse we can never prove anything in science because you never know all the variables. Like that's like the mainstream shit they're spinning, right?
So there's two kinds of could-be. There's the big could-be and the little could-be. Like, let's say you wakes up one morning and there is a car upside down in your yard. One of your friends comes along and says, "Well, it could be he wiped out and flipped up and went flying over the fence and landed in your yard." Another guy comes along and says, "Well, it could be a helicopter dropped that car there, you know." And a third guy comes along and says, "I think a gnat picked that car up and carried it there and dropped it there." Well, see, we've got two different kinds of could-be's here. The first two, it it is known that cars do sometimes wipe out and flip over and fly over fences and land upside down in yards. It's been seen, it's been documented. So just because it could be doesn't mean that it did be, but at least it's a plausible could be. And helicopters have also been known to carry cars and have been known to drop things, so that's a plausible could be. A gnat carrying a car has never, ever, ever been observed. That is an implausible could be, but it still
Yeah,
could
but I'm
be.
not saying I like your analogy. It's cute, but I'm not saying it could have been a net. I'm saying it could have been something else. Could have been a hurricane, flipped it in the yard. Could have been a lot of stuff. Could have been a whole bunch of dudes who carried it up, whatever. Could have been a million things that are viable.
And
If
they're
there was a measurement, if there was ever a measurement of which way the light was bending over long distance, we wouldn't be bickering about this. We would just know because we'd have a measurement. But it's you don't have one. So
But what we do have is millions of measurements of air pressure, temperature, and humidity at from ground level up to very high elevations, taken over large areas over large periods of time. So we know what
yeah,
is
but
extremely
sorry.
common conditions of the air up high above the surface. We also have done numerous measurements of light in the lab in controlled situations, mimicking those conditions in reported by the weather balloons. And so because we know objectively what light does in these different conditions in air, and we know what these different conditions are predominantly at high altitudes, it's not at all unreasonable for us to say this is almost certainly what light is doing at 10,000 feet from mountain peak to mountain peak.
So you're making
Right?
an assumption. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's an assumption, not a measurement. I mean, you admitted it's not a measurement. So, I mean, I've already been preaching this for years now that you guys don't have any measurements. We all know you don't have any measurements. So,
Yeah, maybe you said you could have instead of, or these could be.
like, could
That's
you're
energy.
saying it could be like this? I'm not saying it could be like anything. I'm saying let's get a measurement of it. You know what I'm saying?
But I mean, if the air column has been measured millions of times, and 99.999% of the time it falls within a certain region, then on any given day, there's a pretty good chance that it falls within that region, right? Or no? Do you think reality changes itself just because it knows that's the day I'm making a measurement from one mountain peak to another?
No, I mean this ain't a question on like refraction or anything. So you're saying in this instance, you know all the variables,
I know enough to make a very certain assessment.
right?
Okay.
So you don't know.
You know, there's always the possibility of the implausible unknown, like the gnat carrying cars. Maybe we'll discover someday that there is a
This
gnat that can
this ain't
carry a.
implausible though. We're just talking about light bending. Like this ain't implausible. There you have tons of things in your own model that make light bend. That's not refraction. It's not implausible. I'm not saying it was a gnat.
Okay, but we can measure the magnetic fields also at different elevations, and they're nowhere near close enough to cause even a little bit of
I know
what
I
we.
already said didn't I lead earlier with I'm not saying it is these things, could it be because they would be such a tiny, tiny variable. I led with that. I'm just saying there's things that can make light bend. Like you don't know what's out there. You've measured it in a lab. You haven't gone far enough with it to know if something was bending 8 inches per mile squared and you do it in a fish tank, how the fuck are you gonna know?
Exactly.